Hello everybody, welcome to the TrueLife News Show. Today, guys, more arrests are here. There's more arrests coming, guys. We are seeing lawlessness throughout the United States, but President Trump said it is over. We're not holding back anymore. And we're going to put Americans first, and whatever it takes, that's what we're going to do. Guys, we are seeing so many changes that are happening, not just with Trump enforcing our mass deportations, but also the steps that are being taken by Jim Jordan and other House members to make changes when it comes to the funding of all these states with sanctuary cities, giving away to all these illegals. Guys, this is huge. Jim Jordan right now is drawing up articles against Gavin Newsom for his role in California and other state governors for starting to side with the illegals, the riots, the chaos. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is this not insane how they are explicitly on live TV saying we need to protect these illegals? This is 100% against what the Americans voted for, and I've got so much to show you. Breaking bombshell news, guys. I am happy for it. I'm so excited because we need to charge these people with breaking the law. They need to be held accountable just like this. Alina Habba, one of Trump's right-hand persons, is big time swinging the justice hammer. Right now, charges are now filed against Representative McIver for assaulting and impeding an ICE officer. So again, another representative is now being charged, and we need to see these people go to jail. Not only that, but the governors as well. And now the Trump admin is in full force to pull funding from states with sanctuary city laws that are giving this money, protecting illegals, and he says this is very easy for us. We can give this money to Americans. We can take from these sanctuary states and we can pay for our Social Security, our Medicare, and our Medicaid. He said it's an easy decision. Why wouldn't we do that? If they're going to decide to give billions of dollars every single year to those that are not even citizens of the United States of America, Trump says we can pull that funding and we can give it to those who actually paid into the system. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because this is big, big news. We have this, guys. I'm telling you, so much is dropping today. George Soros has began pouring massive amounts of money into the biggest state, Texas, to turn the state blue. The group known as the Texas Majority PAC is set to launch its Blue Texas Initiative. Also, money from NGOs will be helping to push forward this initiative and to make Texas blue. They want to adopt a platform to decriminalize illegal immigration since Texas is the biggest hotspot, guys. We have our own tax dollars being used by these people that don't want to see United States succeed, trying to go against us, against our laws, stuff that we voted for. Not only that, guys, we have evidence now that truckloads full of professional gear has been dropped off to rioters. The Los Angeles ICE protesters were just dropped off special bionic face shields to better deal with the National Guard and Marines being deployed into LA. So right now, guys, is this not the crazy? We're going to show you the receipts. We're going to show you everything, guys. People are funding hundreds of millions of billions of dollars into these protests across the United States. Over 200 protests are being funded by NGOs, by our taxpayer dollars, against fighting these deportations. This makes no sense. And what I'm going to show you in a minute, guys, I'm so happy about because we're finally getting to common sense and we are going to win in the House big time and in the Senate because of this. Democrats declared sanctuary cities and states to attract illegals, not Trump. Democrats gave illegals free hotel rooms, remember, in New York at the Roosevelt, not Trump. Democrats gave illegals free health care, SNAP benefits. They even gave them electoral college votes with counting them in the census. Guys, we are on the precipice of cleaning up the United States, but what we're doing right now is exposing the left like never before. I want to say, guys, we got some big show for you today. Get ready, sit back, get that popcorn, get ready, because it's going to be crazy. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you so much. And if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family here at True Life News so that we can take care of you every day with the top news. So much is going on. We're literally living through history right now, and this is crazy. I want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel. We appreciate you so much for helping us to continue to give to local charities. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month, this guy is donating to a local charity with your support. And thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Want to give some love to Tammy Ash and Tijuana Border Jumper. Let's go. Show them some love in the chat, guys. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, we got a big show for you today. Not only are we arresting more representatives like Representative McCliver, who was assaulting and impeding an ICE officer. They're working, Homan and all them, to get Gavin Newsom. And not only that, Trump says that he wants to 100% pull all the funding from the sanctuary cities and the states, federal funding, tens of billions of dollars, and give it to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Big show today. Check this out.
Come here illegally, break our laws, spit in the face of the very system that actual Americans work to have their money confiscated. To support? No worries. Apparently that's fine by LA standards. And God forbid an adult actually wants to enforce our laws. Then it's the cops' fault and the federal government's fault for sowing chaos, which in LA is apparently fine to throw bricks at cops for that. That's basically what the mayor said.
What we're seeing in Los Angeles is chaos that is provoked by the administration. When you raid Home Depot and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic. And deploying federalized troops is a dangerous escalation.
How about no, Scott? I mean, that's a dangerous, not a word about the reason that those people, the cops, the federal troops, why they're there in the first place, Karen, because you didn't enforce any of the laws.
Nothing.
Forget immigration laws. And the reason these cops are having to use armored cars to drive down the street is because of this. Because your city, it's apparently fine, Karen. It's a dumpster fire of unaccountability with hooligans hucking bricks at cop cars. Which, by the way, the last time someone launched a brick over a bridge, not only were they tried as an adult outside of California, but they were hit with second-degree murder charges. While that goes on, you've got a city council member encouraging escalation from there.
And they know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics. Because community defense works and our resistance has slowed them down before. And if they're escalating their tactics, then so are we.
Guys, this is such a sickening picture, guys. I got to go ahead and show you this because this is where our country is going to. Look at this. Burning American flags. You want to come here to our country and you want to be here illegally, get our taxpayer benefits, raise up another country's flag, and then spit and light on fire American flags? You know what? You get what's coming to you. The National Guard, the Marines, everybody. Hold these people accountable. This, guys, I don't know about y'all. This fires me up. You do not walk into somebody else's house and start messing things up. That's not how you do it. You came in here illegally. All Trump is doing is enforcing the laws, and now we're seeing this lawlessness.
When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
Wow, that sounds an awful lot worse than, what did Trump say? Oh, right.
That everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Well, by the left standards, that apparently was inciting an insurrection and a riot. He was impeached, then tried to remove him from ballots. They spent the next 4 years in and out of court. Everybody around him was indicted. And 1,600 people were charged in association from that day? Because the left said, oh, Trump knew what he was doing and he was actually inciting a riot. Okay, Pam Bondi, apply that legal standard to every single person at these LA riots. Trump noted this.
What does your intel tell you about these people causing all the problems in LA? Are they people ICE is trying to deport, or are they professional agitators?
The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators. They're insurrectionists. They're bad people. They should be in jail.
Guys, you want to talk about professional insurrectionists? You want to talk about having the receipts? Well, look at this right here. How is it? This is literally blowing up all over X right now. That they are seeking extremely tough, brave men for new crew and building. Compensation, $6,500 to $12,500 per week. We are forming a team of the select of the toughest dudes in this area. Getting paid no matter what. To do what? To go and make chaos, guys. We bring the receipts. This is a real Craigslist, guys, post that is circulating that people are getting into. They're getting paid to cause chaos in America, guys. 100% paid for. We're about to bring the receipts even more. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, because this is getting crazy. I want to say thank you so much, Tijuana Border Jumper, for the super chat and gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Let's go. You got a free membership from Tijuana Border Jumper. Show him some love in the chat, as well as Gregosaurus for gifting a True Life News membership. Guys, y'all are so awesome, but this right here is nuts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, they should be in jail. This all started because ICE raided a worker station at the Home Depot that was harboring and assisting illegals, many with criminal records. Psst, that's a crime.
We didn't cause this. I mean, this reaction is not normal. We are enforcing the law as written.
Yeah, and you would think someone in Congress would know that it's actually the president's job to do this. Here, look, don't take my word for it. He, the president, shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed. But nope, not Mr. I'm writing a book about my 24-hour filibuster.
But remember, a lot of these peaceful protests are being generated because the President of the United States is sowing chaos and confusion by arresting people who are showing up for their immigration hearings, who are trying to abide by the law. He's arresting them.
Dude, like, the city is literally burning. Yeah, this is not even close to peaceful. And Gavin Newsom, he's the worst. I guess his run to the center in hopes of a presidential bid is pretty much over at this point. He seems more concerned about the criminals than law and order.
Yes.
Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me.
Guys, let me show you this. I'm telling you, we bring the receipts. This right here, these helmets, UVEX bionic face shields, truckloads of professional gear was dropped off for rioters. Los Angeles ICE protesters were just dropped off special bionic face shields to better deal with the National Guard and Marines being deployed into LA. This stuff is not by coincidence. It's not by chance. When you let in over 20 million illegals into the country, then you get funded by this guy right here, George Soros, and then you get also allowed to do whatever you want by this guy. Biden used the auto pin more often than initially disclosed. What do you expect? We are in chaos because we had no leadership. Nobody was doing what they were supposed to be doing and putting America first and protecting America, and that's why we're seeing all of this. It's all a recipe for disaster. The Democrats don't want to own it, but what I love is that common sense people, what I'm going to show you next, everybody is saying Trump is in the right.
Okay, Tom, oblige this man. I mean, really? This is, you're saying, Gavin, that this is for your community? Is this community right here? Armando Ordaz, one of the guys that was picked up, convicted of sexual battery, receiving stolen property and theft. Or Chong Chang Fang, convicted of second-degree murder. Oh, how about Rolando Enriquez, convicted of sexual penetration with a foreign object? Who knows what that was? Assault with intent to rape and burglary. I mean, great community to defend there, Gavin. You're on the wrong side of a 90-10 issue again. And the same guy calling for federal law enforcement officers a bunch of thugs for arresting people said, remember when Gavin Newsom sent federal agents to interview children without their parents, children at elementary schools to rat out teachers who didn't follow his mask edict? Thanks, Gavin. You guys absolutely applauded when governors like Tim Walz, You guys are criticizing the National Guard. Tim Walz activated the National Guard in his home state to shoot people in the face with paintball guns who were sitting on their own porch on their own property during COVID. You'd rather criticize the people you put on the front lines to defend the community than the illegals that broke the laws to get here and continue to do so when they did. Many of whom already had committed crimes, and almost all of which were picked up with already deportation orders. These cops, these guardsmen, and now reportedly the 500 additional Marines that Pete Hegseth apparently activated, and whoever else end up going there, they have to put their helmets and bulletproof vests on to go to work on streets of American cities. Because you, Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, basically every other Democrat out there, have failed to enforce even the most basic laws. Anybody surprised by this? Like, who saw this coming in California, right?
Guys, again, we're bringing so much receipts right now, guys. I hope you appreciate this. This bill, remember, they're showing full force who they truly stand for. They put a bill forth in Congress, and guess what? 113 Dems, including the ones that you're seeing on screen now, voted no on a bolder resolution. Because I don't know if you forgot already because there's so much crazy news going on, but last week in Boulder, Colorado, there was people whose lives were lost. It was a hate crime. It was horrible. It was caused by illegals, and guess what? 113 House Democrats voted against condemning that a terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Now, you tell me, where's the common sense at? People need to see this. People need to know this. That they won't even stand against these illegals committing these terrorist attacks in America and actually call it out. These Democrats have lost their ever-loving mind, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to say KRO. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Thank you so much, Michelle Fiala, for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership from Michelle, show her some love in the chat, guys, because I'm telling you, we are getting so deep into this. What I'm going to show you guys, it is awesome because it is exposing what we've known has been there all along. And these Democrats, they've completely lost it.
Idly buy why stores get, I mean, hell, you guys basically made it legal to steal anything under $1,000 in value. And you're somehow mad? Why? Because burglars, rapists, and murderers are actually getting rounded up by the federal government to get them the hell out of our communities? That's a good thing. I feel for these officers. And the other thing, too, as a military dude, like, what point do these cops have to consider, like, hey, it's time to use lethal force? Simple question that I would pose to any one of the Democrats in opposition of these ICE raids, any of the people that are saying these protests are mostly peaceful. Here's a question, Gavin. If someone was about to huck a brick at your husband, your wife, your father, your mother, your son, your daughter, would you draw your weapon? I mean, I definitely would.
Yes, that could
without
kill
hesitation. So why are our law enforcement officers being forced to stand under overpasses like that while they're being shot with paintballs and having Molotov cocktails thrown at them and bricks dropped on their head? What happens when one of these officers gets killed? What are you gonna, seriously, what are you gonna say to the family? Let's game this out. Sorry, we told them to act like sitting ducks? At what point do you tell officers to shoot someone that might kill you? Trump should just come right out and say, I'll pardon any law enforcement officer charged with any crime for responding to these riots. You want this to stop? The good guys gotta win
right
here.
Right there, guys. Right there. What we're showing right here, this right here is just disgusting to me. You do not come into our country, raise a flag, and try to make it supersede the United States of American flag. And it all, I'm telling you guys, this all started with this right here on the screen. Whenever they put this puppet into action, they opened our borders. They started allowing so much of our millions, hundreds of billions of dollars to be flowed into these NGOs, paying for all this craziness. It all started with him. They wanted to destroy America. You cannot convince me otherwise, guys. They wanted to destroy America. Let me know your thoughts. And now that we know that the auto pen was used even more than what we already thought it was, this is insane. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you so much for gifting another 5 TrueLife News memberships. Let's go. Y'all show Tijuana Border Jumper some love in the chat, as well as What's New for giving a super chat. Said, take it to him, Trump. Guys, y'all are so awesome. Show them some love in the chat. What's New? Give them some big love right there, because listen to what's happening next, because we have people that are in Washington ready to take some immediate action. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, what you're about to hear next is what's going on at the White House, because I'm telling you, Trump came out and said enough is enough. Listen to this.
McGinley, you're from LA, you know the city. The illegal immigrant community has their schools destroyed, their health care destroyed. Trump's their savior. That's what he's coming in and trying to do, is he not?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons that they came to this country in the first place was so it's rule of law, not men, right? One of the basic civics lessons that we all had growing up is that the United States is a ruled by laws, not men. We don't want subjective standards. And if you look at what Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass are doing, they're basically saying we're going to selectively decide which laws are going to be enforced and which ones are not. That is a personal decision for them. And under our federalist system, federal law trumps state law. It occupies the field under the supremacy clause. And the court cases are telling you that the federal government, meaning the president of the United States, based upon the authority that the Congress has given him by statute, bicameralism and presentment, has the authority to do this. ICE should follow the law. They should go and get the warrants for some of these folks, but they should also enforce the immigration laws.
But a lot of times you don't need the warrants.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You should enforce the immigration laws without the warrants.
Yes.
But basically, they should follow the law. They're going to have the support of the community. They may not have the support of Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom, but that's okay, because everybody is looking at what they're doing with the people who are throwing cinder blocks at police officers, at law enforcement.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk
guys,
about that.
And I want to show you this too, because showing the facts is so important, guys. Look at this. This is from Snopes.com. During the administration of U.S. President Barack Obama, immigration authorities deported more than 3 million people, 75 to 83% of whom did not see a judge or have the opportunity to plead their case. This is mostly true. So you're telling me this is how fake. This is why I love it, guys, when you like these videos, you share these videos, because people don't know this, that when it was under a Democrat president, they deported 83% of illegals and didn't say, this was millions of them, didn't give them a judge, didn't give them a case, didn't give them nothing. They just got deported and nobody said anything. Trump tries to do the exact same thing, and because it's Trump, now it's the end of the world. We're going to put in the judiciary branch to use lawfare against Trump. It is a joke, guys, of what the Democrats have turned our country in, trying to fight America First policies.
There's obviously pre-stage. You got bricks, you got cinder blocks, all of it. You had the Watts riots in the mid-'60s. You then had the Rodney King in 92, I think. Now today. And President Trump, what has changed? Because President Trump has had a massive show of federalized National Guard. He's got a battalion of Marines coming up. I think he's put another 2,000 National Guard. He's thinking about Army Reserve. He's going to Fort Bragg today as a show of force. Why is LAPD, like over the weekend, it was, and I kind of feel for these guys, the frontline guys, because it a little bit looks like they're forced to play namby-pamby. There were virtually no arrest, right? In San Francisco, they had 142 arrest. In LA, virtually nothing. What's going on?
Yeah, because the rank and file in LAPD and the LA County Sheriff deputies don't have the support of the political leaders in the county and the city or the state.
Even into the police chain of command?
Yeah, I think some of those guys are trying their best to support the rank and file. But if you talk to the rank and file, and I have friends who were part of the rank and file and still talk to some of them, a lot of them are demoralized. A lot of them don't want to risk anything because they know that the city, the county, and the state are not going to back them up. When you have some of these folks who are trying to cause physical harm and property damage, they want to enforce the law. They want to get them off the streets. Why? Because the overwhelming majority of Angelenos and Californians are good people.
Yes.
They're hardworking people. They're working multiple jobs just to be able to afford to stay in California because of all the taxes that Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass are imposing on them, whether it's $8 gas or anything else. These people just want to live their lives and raise their kids and have their small business.
Unless you take care of the illegal alien situation, you're not going to be able to get the schools back up to standard. You're not going to be, the medical system there is destroyed. The schools are destroyed. The law and order, the neighborhoods are destroyed. And the reason is you have, I think they're talking about in LA, maybe 1 million or 2 million illegal aliens.
Yeah.
Until you sort that problem out, the working class Hispanic citizens and working class African American citizens, because first off, it suppresses wages so hard. This is why the elites in LA, the Gavin Newsoms of the world, love illegal aliens, because they get their grass cut cheaper, their nannies, all of it, right? The people doing the yards, and the wages drop for everybody in the working class area.
But all
Guys,
these hardworking...
And I want to show you this too. Again, we bring the receipts. This is from the Harvard-Harris 2025 poll. 74% support deporting criminal illegal immigrants. This is what everybody believes. And not only that, guys, you think that Mexico's being friendly to us? Look at what came out yesterday. Mexico provides legal aid to illegal immigrants arrested by ICE in Los Angeles. So we have other countries that are trying to interfere with our deportations of us cleaning up America when they were the very countries that let them all in, didn't enforce any border policies whatsoever, and now America is having to deal with all this. This right here, Trump should put 100%, 200% tariffs on Mexico for this alone. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Want to say Ricky Burton, welcome to the family. KRO, welcome to the family. And thank you so much, Mr. Tracy J. Norby with the super chat. Said, I'm so done with all these NGO-funded protests that's been up and down the West Coast and city near to y'all. It just disgusts me to get away with burning down cities and burn our flags when it used to be a crime for burning American flags, period. 100%, guys. Y'all show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. We are so fed up, and so is Trump, and that's why I love the new executive orders that you're about to hear about coming out to put America first and stop giving away our dang dollars to these sanctuary cities and states.
People have been living with a crime-ridden city for a long time. People forget about that. They basically declared, we're not going to prosecute people who steal items valued just under $1,000. You're coming off of the era where they had Gascon as the LADA, who acted more like a criminal defense attorney as opposed to a prosecutor to protect the citizens and get violent criminals. Whenever the LAPD and the sheriffs were bringing these folks in and booking them, the prosecutors were processing them right back out onto the street. So on the heels of that, now they have a new LADA who's better.
Right.
Who's better. But I don't think he's good enough. I think he needs to take a harder line on the violent crime. And, you know, I think LAPD needs to know that the political leadership has their back, which Bass does not. I think that the LA County Sheriff's Department needs to know that that the political leadership has their back. And Gavin Newsom, right? To me, my question for Gavin Newsom, how much property needs to be damaged? How much privacy needs to be destroyed? How many people need to be injured? How many people have to die before you would call in the National Guard and do the right thing? What is the trigger for you to restore law and order and actually enforce the law in the state of California and in Los Angeles? He has yet to answer that.
Of course, we saw the chaos that took place before Trump sent the military back up, the National Guard, and of course, a lot of our Marines in there to set law and order. But you're absolutely right, because if that would have been successful, to a certain degree, they were for a few days, but we've stomped that out. You're seeing other cities around the country start to pop off. We had Dallas, Texas last night, really close to my home there. That does not make me happy at all. But what also is planned this weekend is this No Kings rally, this anti-Trump, anti-ICE protest around the country. 1,500 cities on tap for this Saturday to potentially experience the same thing that Los Angeles has been going through. Now, the one that was planned here for DC.
Did you hear that, guys? 1,500 cities. The money is coming all out, guys. And look at it. I bring the receipts. It's right here. And if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, a coalition of Democrat NGOs are sponsoring nationwide protest. It's not, they're doing it for the Army's 250th birthday, but they're also now doing this against Kings rally, like you just heard, in over 1,500 cities. NGOs is non-government organizations using our taxpayer dollars to fund the protest. Not only that, guys, this is a clear, defined chart. Democrats are the ones who declared sanctuary cities and states to attract illegals. When you say, oh, if you come to my city and you're an illegal, we're not going to prosecute you. Of course the illegals are going to go there. Gave illegals free hotel rooms with our tax dollars. Gave them debit cards with thousands of dollars to go do whatever they wanted with it. Gave illegals free health care. Gave illegals SNAP benefits. And then also, they're counted in the census. So instead of counting American citizens, I don't know who in the world approved saying, yes, we're just going to count people, not American citizens, when it comes to counting how many elected officials get represented in Congress for each state. The corruption has been there for a long time, but guys, I'm telling you, when we hear about 1,500 cities are going to be protesting using our taxpayer dollars, to me, enough is enough. Something has to change.
Get this, Steve, that's been canceled because of the military parade. That would just be downright stupid for someone to think that they can come into our nation's capital and do the same lawlessness they did in Los Angeles.
Hang on, there's a lesson. The left's giving us a lesson. They just announced they're not going to do D.C., which they first planned to have a big one because there's already a show of force there. That's interesting. Yeah. Why are they not going to do D.C.? Because of show of force. This is why I think this weekend throughout the country, and I hope this is one of the things he's talking to 82nd Airborne about. We're not going to make this like, this is not going to be like 2020. It's not going to be like 1968. We're just not going to let these cities burn. President Trump's not going to let these riots get out of control. He's going to shut them down. And the liberals can sit there and we ought to put the cameras everywhere and rub people's noses in it, rub the left's noses in it, because the American people, and as Harry Anton showed us, particularly immigrant citizens in this country, Hispanics and blacks, they hate what they're seeing when these rioters take over and start burning, because they got to live in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They got to live in it and live around it, and they're tired of it, and nobody speaks to them. This is why they love Trump. This is why you saw those huge numbers. Harry Anton's head's blown up in CNN. They're all crawling to death. And I got to make note, you do not see this on prime time in CNN. You see Harry Anton in the morning. I don't see Caitlin Collins. I don't see Abby Phillips. I don't see Anderson Cooper getting Harry in there and rubbing the nose of the CNN viewer. These white progressive, liberals sitting back, taking all the advantage of the illegal aliens, right, and not paying any price. They don't want to see it. Brian Glenn, sir.
You're right. And think about what we campaigned on this last season. We campaigned on the BLM the riots across the country, cities burning, and that if President Trump was in charge of all of that, that would not have happened. So that's a great point, Steve, that we're going to prove to the world that the Republican Party, President Trump, the Trump administration, Tom Homan, the whole Homeland Security, we will not tolerate this type of lawlessness on the streets. There's a big difference between protesting and exercising your right to do so, and throwing bricks off overpasses onto cars and burning down businesses is not going to happen. And so the sign of force is working. Let's see what happens this Saturday. Hopefully that's nothing develops there. But you're absolutely right. Strength is key here, and President Trump obviously flexing the muscle with the deployment of the troops, the Marines, and the National Guard.
Hold it. In the middle of this, with Rachel Maddow with that long face, and Trump's going to Fort Bray's going to go see the 82nd Airborne. Suck on that, baby.
Guys, again, we show you everything that's going on right now. Guys, look at this. There are now Democrats that are stepping aside and saying, look, I don't want to be aligned with any Democrats that are actually for this. Senator John Fetterman came out, says the Democrats have lost the moral high ground because they refused to condemn the LA riots. He said, this is anarchy and true chaos. My party loses the moral high ground when we refuse to condemn setting cars on fire and destroying buildings and assaulting law enforcement. Guys, this is exposure that it's not just Americans. These are paid for, guys, paid for. Denise Clark Custom Art, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. She said, arrest Soros for insurrection. Y'all show Denise some love in the chat. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. Normal people that are just trying to do what's right, that are trying to live their lives, don't go burning down cars and throwing rocks and causing chaos and looting and rioting. It's the criminals, it's the paid people that are getting paid tons of money and they get bailed out by that same money. So what we're seeing here, to me, arrest all of them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. And again, when Gavin Newsom comes out and defends all this, it's time for homeboy to see the inside of a jail cell. Guys, listen to this, because we are about to see finally some action with all of this. Check it out.
And the applause of destruction of cities and all sorts of chaos. The contrast is so clear, and everybody can see it. And we had all the Republicans gathered together for our weekly meeting here just in the last hour, and we showed them poll after poll after poll that confirms what we all know intuitively. The American people see who is doing the job, and they are losing their tolerance for the nonsense by the Democratic Party. And you can't make this stuff up. We talked a lot a bit this morning about what's happening in Los Angeles because it is such a great exhibit to show what is happening. A picture's worth 10,000 words, of course. You know, while the rioters have been burning police cars and looting storefronts and physically assaulting law enforcement officers, it's important to remember how we got to this point, to this level of chaos, because this didn't happen overnight.
Nope.
4 quick points to make us all remember. You know, we're in a busy news cycle and people sometimes forget the facts, but the Biden administration welcomed maybe as many as 20 million illegal aliens across that border and into our...
Hey, what did I say, guys? I told you. I bring the receipts. Like, there's so much going on. 20 million in 4 years. These people, a normal average American citizen does not do what you're seeing on screen with this picture, standing on top of a burning car with a dang flag from another country.
...country in a 4-year period. Sanctuary states like California rolled out the welcome mat. They embraced it. They offered aliens protection from federal law enforcement. Think of it. They're on the wrong side of the law. And they provided them with health care and housing and taxpayer-funded benefits. It's truly almost unbelievable, incredible what these Democrat leaders of these cities and states have done. President Trump delivered on an ironclad mandate from the American people. And just as we said throughout the entire Biden administration disaster, the law always allowed the president to stop it. And President Trump did it with bold visionary leadership. He stopped the invasion of our country, and he engaged in the largest mass deportation effort in U.S. history. We're in the midst of that right now. Rioters acting on the words of politicians like AOC and Hakeem Jeffries are trying to stop this effort by burning storefronts and endangering the lives of patriotic law enforcement officers. The contrast could not be any more clear. Time and time again, innocent, hardworking Americans have been harmed by the failed leadership of Democrat governors like Gavin Newsom. President Trump was absolutely right to send in the National Guard and to clean up for the governor's failures. You know, Gavin Newsom's been in this effort for the last several months to try to reinvent himself, to rebrand himself, okay?
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult to do when your state is a safe haven to violent, criminal, illegal aliens, and you're the one at the helm. You can't hide this stuff. The President of the United States has a responsibility to maintain law and order, particularly when the lives and livelihoods of federal law enforcement officers are threatened. What we're doing there with the federal forces is we are protecting federal buildings and property and personnel. And the president is showing strong leadership in doing so. Because,
guys,
you know, it's those...
Again, just remember, these law enforcement people, they have families, they have lives, and what are they trying to do? They're just trying to follow the law, and yet they are getting bombarded by these criminal illegals. When I show you guys, when we look at this chart, when you look at what happened in the span of just 4 years, you cannot tell me that voting for the president doesn't matter. When voting for the president, look at this, more than Trump and Obama combined allow this many people in. And this is, guys, this doesn't even include the known gotaways. This doesn't even include the amount of people that were criminals or terrorists that came into our country. We have no idea who they are, where they are at. And that's why Trump's trying to clean house. Queenie Yeshua, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. She said, Newscom made me do it. And thank you so much, Sharon Richardson, for the super chat. Said, thank you, Joel, for all you do. Y'all show Sharon and Queenie Yeshua some love in the chat. Because, guys, I'm telling you, Trump is fed up. Enough is enough. He's bringing in the big dogs to come in and clean up. Listen to this.
Those men and women, the federal law enforcement officers, who deserve our support right now. And the one big beautiful bill, by the way, as Leader Scalise noted, delivers much needed reinforcements. In this bill, we have funding to hire a minimum of 10,000 new ICE agents. We're going to provide a $10,000 bonus to Border Patrol and ICE agents on the front lines. We're going to include $45 billion to expand ICE detention capacity and $14.4 billion for air and ground transport to carry out at least 1 million deportations every single year. We'll have to do that for quite some time because they let so many people in. We're starting with the dangerous illegal aliens, and that is exactly who the rioters and the politicians in California are trying to protect, and it's incredible. While Republicans are supporting the men and women of ICE through the One Big Beautiful Bill, Democrats are fighting for those illegal aliens and against law enforcement agents. They're defending the violent anti-ICE protesters in LA. They visited a violent MS-13 gang member and human trafficker in El Salvador. They charged an ICE facility and clashed with ICE officers. That was members of the House of Representatives doing that. They're advocating for people to dox ICE agents and making them targets for threats from radicals. And they're calling for the elimination of ICE. Don't forget what ICE stands for. People get caught up in the acronyms or lost in the acronyms. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, okay? It is to enforce federal law. It is to enforce a secure border. And the Democrats want to defund that. Just let that settle on you a bit. They're even trying to hide it. And they're not even trying to hide it, okay? They're openly advocating for illegals instead of American citizens. I don't know. We could talk about this all morning, and we have. Let me move on. With regard to the business in the House this week, the House will vote to approve the White House's request to claw back $9.4 billion in wasteful spending. $8.3 billion of that is wasteful foreign aid with all the atrocities that DOJ uncovered in USAID, and $1.1 billion for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. That's PBS, NPR. These are common sense cuts, and I think every member of this body should support it. It's a critical step in restoring fiscal sanity and beginning to turn the tides of removing fraud, waste, and abuse from our government. Have you checked the public opinion polls? That's what the American people want, and they demand and deserve, and we're going to do it. I read some of the greatest hits last week out of this, but I just want to list a few more examples, okay? Last week he gave you some of the real high level, high number amounts, but these are lower dollars, but they matter. Listen to this, $33,000 we're going to cut. That was being used for, quote, being LGBT in the Caribbean. No kidding. American taxpayers are funding that. $8,000 for promoting vegan food in Zambia. $67,000 for feeding insect powder to kids in Madagascar. You'll notice these aren't particularly expensive examples of wasteful spending, but compared to these other massive categories of government bloat. But I list those because it's an illustration here. Every dollar matters. We are serious about this. The Republican Party is doing everything we can to be careful stewards of the precious treasure of the people. And the Democrats want to waste it and send it to their NGO pet projects and just all this crazy stuff. We're not going to fund our transgender operas in Peru anymore. Once we found that out, we had a responsibility to go stop it, and we will. This rescission package is a critical step, and it's one of many. There'll be several of these that will come from the White House. We'll work together with the administration to cut out all the fraud, waste, and abuse. We're fighting a multi-front war against the deficit. Don't get lost in this, okay? This is a multi-step process. I've tried to explain on all the interviews I've done over the last couple of weeks. The One Big Beautiful Bill is going to reduce spending by over $1.6 trillion, as has been noted this morning. The rescission package will rescind $9.4 billion in wasteful spending, the first of many of those. The annual appropriations process will allow Republicans to further codify DOJ cuts and spend less money and be careful stewards of each dime. And the revenues found from the president's tariff agenda will also reduce the deficit by $2.8 trillion over 10 years.
Guys, let me tell you this. When I hear Mike Johnson speaking, we show you everything because we want you to know, we want you to be in the know. But dang it, sometimes I just don't see it. And I don't believe it because when I see action, that's what matters to me. Just like this, breaking Alina Habba, swinging the hammer of justice. Charges are now filed against Representative McCliver for assaulting and impeding an ICE officer. That to me is action. That to me is doing your job, holding people accountable, putting their butts in jail. But when I hear Mike Johnson and them, to me, I feel like they're saying everything and it sounds good, but it's to me political talk. Let me know your thoughts in the comments because again, he's a big fish, slimy flip-flopper, and I think we need a replacement. And I feel like in the next year, with the more that gets exposed, we're gonna have a new Speaker of the House. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
This is real money, and we're going to turn that aircraft carrier. You don't turn it on a dime. You've all heard me say. You can't make deficits and debt disappear overnight, but we're at it. And we're going to continue this step-by-step process to get our fiscal house in order and do right by the taxpayers. We're chipping away at it every day, and the rescissions vote on Thursday is an important signal. House Republicans are serious about getting our fiscal house in order, and we'll do that. All right, let me take a few questions. Front row.
Speaker Johnson, the president said, possibly in jest, that if he were Tom Homan, he would arrest Gavin Newsom. Do you believe that Newsom should face consequences in a legal way?
Right here, guys.
Look, that's not my lane. I'm not going to give you legal analysis on whether Gavin Newsom should be arrested, but he ought to be tarred and feathered. I'll say that. I mean, look, he's standing in the way of the administration and the carrying out of federal law, right? He is applauding the bad guys and standing in the way of the good guys. He is trying to. He's a participant, an accomplice in our federal law enforcement agents being not just disrespected, but assaulted. This is a serious problem. And the governor is now filing a lawsuit against the president. What a joke. Do your job, man. That's what I tell.
Can you believe this? Gavin Newsom is suing Trump for coming in and doing his deportations of ICE that the American people voted for, guys. And what I get to show you next, guys, it is gonna make you smile so big, ear to ear, because they have been interviewing immigrants, okay? And even the immigrants are saying, and this is on CNN, that Trump is doing what Trump is doing is right, and he needs to continue to do it, guys. That's how much they have lost. The Democrats have lost it.
Gavin Newsom, do your job. Stop working on your rebranding and be a governor. Stand up for the rule of law. He's not doing that. So I don't know what the ultimate measure will be there, but I know that in the interim time, the president of the United States is showing real leadership, and we're not going to allow LA to burn. We've seen this movie before, right? This thing gets out of hand real quickly, especially in a big city like that. And if local and state officials are unwilling or unable to do their job, the president of the United States will do his, and we support that fully. Yes, ma'am.
Guys, this is what I'm talking about. Check this out. I want to say thank you so much, Patrick Trebet, for the super chat. Let's go. Guys, favorite GIF. Y'all show Patrick some love in the chat. Deb Perry Jordan. Hey, how's it going? Guys, when y'all call out my the True Life News, that's what I can see more evident, because there's always so much chat going on. But I always want to call out anybody if I can within the chat. But I want you to see this, guys, because I'm telling you, CNN, whenever they release the facts, that's what I love to show, because they are one of the most left-wing media outlets out there, and everybody needs to hear the truth. Listen to this.
Yeah, let's just sort of start off on the fact that immigrant citizens, immigrant voters, foreign-born voters have gone tremendously to the right on this issue in 2024 and 2025 versus where they were in 2020. Closest to or trust more in immigration. You go back to 2020. Democrats, get this, held a 32-point lead on this issue. Immigrant voters were in the Democratic camp. Jump forward to 2024, 2025. Look at that shift, a 40-point shift to the right among immigrant voters. Republicans now lead on this issue by 8 points over Democrats, more so than any other group that I could find. The group of voters.
Man, guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, is this not insane? This just shows you, among immigrant citizens, a 40-point swing to Trump's side that they do not want. All this lawlessness, they don't want people standing on a dang burning car, looting, rioting, throwing rocks at law enforcement. Nobody wants that. And now CNN is showing everybody that, guess what? Democrats have got it wrong.
Voters who became more hawkish on immigration were in fact immigrants themselves, immigrants who are registered to vote in this country. Yeah,
guys, I'm telling you, it is awesome. Thank you so much, Nancy, for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Nancy some love in the chat, guys. That's my favorite one. I love it, the superhero one. Y'all show Nancy some love, as well as Patrick some love in the chat. Guys, listen to this, because again, too, Congress is going through, and Trump is weeding out everybody, getting out all and exposing these fake NGOs, all of our taxpayer dollars, where it's been going to, guys, and you are going to be mind blown. It is crazy. Listen to this.
Doctor, you don't look like Satan to me.
I hope not.
Some of my colleagues have accused you of everything but abandoning your children to wolves. Do you hate medical research?
I've devoted my life to medical research, Senator.
Do you hate the NIH?
I love the NIH. I think I said that in my Senate hearing, my earlier Senate hearing. I think it's the most important biomedical institution in the world.
This budget that we're debating today is the president's budget. When's the last time Congress took a president's budget and enacted it?
You know, the funny thing is, I've gotten thanks to this process, I've got to talk with all of you all.
When's the last time that happened?
I can't remember.
It's never happened in the history of ever.
I mean, everyone has strong opinions about what should happen, and Congress gets to have a say, and that's a good thing.
There's some changes that need to be made at the NIH, aren't there?
There are.
Okay. If I'm the president of a university, and I came to you at the NIH and said, I need $10 million to research a cure for nephritis. And I took that $10 million and spent $5 million of it renovating the vice provost home. That would be morally repugnant, wouldn't it?
It would.
If I were a college president and I came to NIH and asked for $20 million to research a cure for dementia, and I took $5 million of that and used it to buy a yacht for my university, that would be morally repugnant, wouldn't it?
That would, and no, that's not.
And that's happened before, hasn't it?
That's not hypothetical.
Right here, guys.
And there's been a lot of talk about the difference between direct costs, spending the money, for example, on researching cures for nephritis, and indirect costs, overhead. Harvard, for example, with a $53 billion endowment, spends 69% of its money from NIH on overhead, does it not?
I haven't looked at the latest numbers, but it's definitely in that range.
Yale spends 67.5% on overhead, does it not?
Again, roughly in that range, yes.
So all this money spent on overhead is money that's not being spent on medical research, is that right?
Well, it's for fixed costs of like lab space and things, but also sometimes for other things. So it's some of it's absolutely necessary.
Well, if I'm the Gates Foundation, and I came to the NIH and said, I don't want money. I want to give you money. I want to give you $100 billion.
Yeah.
But you can't spend more than 10% on overhead. Would the NIH turn it down?
I wouldn't turn it down, no. In fact, I think that Gates Foundation overhead rates are roughly, again, in that range, 10 to 15%.
The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation limits overhead to 15%, does it not?
That's what I understand, something like that.
Now, I want you to think in terms of the American people and the importance of medical research. What do you think's more important? And we have finite resources.
Guys, and again, we always bring you the breaking news, guys. I hope you appreciate this. 700 U.S. Marines have reportedly arrived in Los Angeles now. Like, guys, again, Trump said enough is enough. Everything that you're hearing now, all the wasteful money, all the wasteful spending, it has been happening for the past 50, 60 years, guys. And it wasn't until we got a president with a backbone to stand up against everybody to finally call them all out and then do what needs to be done to make sure that Americans are put first.
Okay. And I support giving resources to NIH. I think NIH does breathtakingly innovative work. But if you ask American people, would you rather give money to research cerebrovascular disease, or would you rather give $142,000 to the Seattle Children's Hospital to study how to use telehealth to improve access to gender-affirming care? What do you think the American people would say?
Senator, the NIH should be a non-political organization, non-ideological, addressing the health needs of the American people.
But yet, the NIH also spent $120,000 in a grant to, quote, develop 3D avatars that help people work through gender dysphoria, end quote. Did it not?
It did.
And the NIH also spent $2,368,492, gave it to Brown University to study, quote, improving mental health among the LGBTQ community impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Did it not?
I think it did. Although I have to say that
Do you think that's more important than studying chronic lower respiratory disease?
I mean, I think we should address the real health needs of Americans, not divide Americans into we have to take into account the real differences in in the biology of people. But when we do that, we should do it in a way that really addresses their actual health needs. Not
I'm running out of time. What we have to do is spend the money on research.
We should. Absolutely.
It's real simple.
I agree with you, Senator, 100%.
And some universities aren't. NIH is not calling them on it. Isn't it a fact that a study showed between 2017 and 2019, auditors found 137 critical trials funded with taxpayer money involving 41,000 kids, and they didn't even report the results? What happened to the money?
Senator, I think that researchers we support have an obligation to share their data publicly with the American people, no matter what the result.
Otherwise, it's wasted.
Yeah.
Guys, like when I show you what is coming out now, it is mind-blowing, guys. I'm telling you. Look at this. So this is from the Silver Bulletin. They did a mental health rating. Mental health ratings by political affiliation. Just for your mental health, the data shows you that you probably should be a conservative. Mental health rating of excellent, conservative, 51%. Liberal, 20%. Mental health rating of poor, 45% for liberal, 19% for conservative. Guys, if this doesn't show you the state of the mind of where people are at when they follow these leftist, just crazy ideologies, guys. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I want to show you this, guys, because people are definitely choosing sides when it comes to what's happening in California. But what they are showing, though, is that the majority of people think Gavin Newsom should be put in jail. The majority of people think that the Democrats are going to lose the midterms big time because they just keep siding on the wrong side of history. Listen to this.
Why the hell are you playing right into the hands of Donald Trump? Because I got news for you. On this particular issue, as it involves migrants, immigrants, those who are undocumented, dare we say illegal, in the United States of America, he's winning on this issue. There's a reason he won a popular vote. There's a reason he won the Electoral College vote. There's a reason he won every swing state. There are people within the United States of America that want our immigration crisis addressed and want the situation resolved somehow, some way. And the person that seems eager to bring a resolution to the table is President Donald Trump. Now, others may challenge that because they may say we had a bipartisan agreement when Joe Biden was in office that Donald Trump convinced the GOP to nix because he wanted to use it as an issue to favor him during the election. Well, damn it, it worked. It worked. And I got news for you, Governor Newsom. It's working now.
Guys, again, if we don't have one of the most beautiful cabinet teams ever, guys, that they are not holding back whatsoever. Everybody is doing what they need to do. Like, check this out. RFK Jr. oust the entire CDC Vaccine Advisory Committee. You've got Alina Habba, who is literally filed charges against Representative McIver for assaulting and impeding an ICE officer. FAFO, guys. We have to hold people accountable, and we have to have justice in America, or not, things will never get better. We lived under a crazy Biden auto pen entire presidency, and nobody said anything until now, till after the fact, But when we find out that the Biden used the auto pin more often than initially disclosed, reverse everything. That's where I'm at, guys. The amount of hundreds of billions of trillions of dollars, the amount of time, the amount of illegals that came in, all the orders, the executive orders. If this guy was never in charge and they used the auto pin like nobody's business to completely just have anybody's way, have their agenda fulfilled, Biden had no clue. You know what? Reverse everything. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because I'm telling you, if we're not living through some dang history that a lot of stuff is being exposed right now of the left, I don't know what is, guys, but want to say thank you. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. And if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family here at True Life News. We want to take care of you every day with the top news, guys. So much is going on. And like I said, we bring the receipts. We show you the truth from everywhere. And we want to bring full context of what's going on out there and make sure that you are fully informed. And we want to say thank you so much to our members of the channel. Guys, y'all are the best. Thank you so much for supporting our giving. Remember, when you're a member or you give a super chat donation, you partner with us and we give to local charities on the 22nd of every single month, live on stream. This guy is giving thousands of dollars away to a local charity because, guys, we want this channel to be more than just reporting the news. We want to make the news, bring positive change to people's lives. And this month, we're going to be helping out a homeless veterans shelter. And guys, I'm so excited about it. I want to give some love to those that have given today. Thank you so much, Reddy Marshall, Georgina Budney, Tijuana Border Jumper, Gregosaurus, Tijuana Border Jumper for gifting 10 True Life News memberships. KRO, Michelle Fiala for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. What's new? Y'all show What's New some love in the chat. Ricky Burton, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. Queen of Yeshua, Sharon Richardson, Patrick Trebet, Nancy. Guys, thank y'all so much for partnering with us as we continue to give. And thank you so much for liking our videos, sharing our videos. We want to bring the truth, no matter where it comes from, and we are here to serve you. We love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.